Hello Internet, it's Jason here from Godlike Productions. I'm just going to have a quick tutorial on the H9000 and I'm going to run through how to set up insert and bus effects or auxiliary sends on the H9000 in Ableton Live, and I'm going to use an aggregate device for this, and I'm going to take you through step by step showing you how to set all of this up. So I have a new Ableton set here, and I've just put in a vocal sample. It's just a lady singing. It's public domain, so yeah, it's something that I've downloaded and it's free to use commercially. So all up here. So copyright algorithms, I hope you take notice of this. The next thing that we need to do is go into our audio effects, and we're going to bring down the external audio device down here. Now this is for Logic and Cubase and Pro Tools or whatever DAW you're using. This is very similar process. They're all going to have some sort of send, receive or external audio device in it. And on Ableton it's just called external audio device. Before we go further, let's have a look at the settings, and you'll see that I've got core audio set, and I'm using a aggregate device that's got UFX3, my MADI face and a H9000 on it. The H9000 set up over USB. Okay, sometimes if you have problems with the audio device and you're not hearing anything, I've found that coming up here, selecting no device and then reselecting the device for the input and output will re-enable it. Sometimes Ableton just forgets it, or core audio, I'm not sure, but that's the way to fix it, is just deselect it and reselect it. Now, when we come down here, the audio send and receive, you'll see that there's not much set up here. We've got one set up here, but we're going to go through and find out how we work out what this is. Okay, so to do that, you go into the audio MIDI setup in Apple. If it's not already open, go and show audio devices. And if it's not set up like this so you can't see it, it often looks like this when you open it. Select the vertical so that you can scroll through and see. You'll see that I've got the UFX3 set up in grey, the H9000 is blue, and the MADI face is in orange. So what we want to do is we want to scroll down, and you see the H9000 starts at audio device 31 and 32. And for some reason the default naming of this is analog 1, 2. I've just renamed these as USB 1 and USB 2. And you can go through and do the rest of these at your leisure. But what we're really looking for is this 31 and 32. This is what core audio, these are the outputs of the aggregate device that is sending to USB 1 and USB 2 and receiving from USB 1 and USB 2. Okay, so 31 and 32 is what we want to take notice of. So let's go back to Ableton. And what we need to do, pretend that this isn't here. So we go configure, and we configure the inputs, and often this here it'll look all like this, so there's no names or anything. So 31 and 32 we've just discovered from the aggregate device. This is what we're looking for. So click this and turn it on, and you see that I've just renamed these so that I can find them later. So you just click it and type in the device name, and this can just make it quicker for finding it within Ableton. All right, so they're the inputs, and we do the same on the outputs. So again, you can give these name, whatever you want to call them, but make sure that 31 and 32 is turned on, and that's again the number that we got from the audio MIDI setup. Okay, now that we've done that, just get out of the settings window, go down and select these ones here, and you see that it's got 31, 32, but it's also got that name that we put in there. So this is why naming them's pretty helpful, and we set those out there. Okay, now this is half of the job done. We've done the Ableton routing, and we've done the core audio routing. So now we need to go into emote. And we need to open up either in this view, which is the combined view, or in the algorithm view. And we need to open up this top panel here. And by default, it's going to look like this, where these are going to be turned off. So you need to select USB. So in this case, we're using USB, but we've got, these are all the other inputs that come into the H9000. So they're the 8 analog inputs, the 8 ADAT inputs. I've got a MADI card in mine, so I have 32 MADI inputs. But in this case, we're using USB, and we want to turn on 1 and 2 because they're the ones that corresponded to the aggregate device number 31 and 32. Right, now that we've got these turned on, we need to make sure that we connect them up. So select number 1 and connect that to USB 1. Select number 2, connect that to USB number 2. And then again, we need to make sure these are connected to the input. So in this case, I have the band delays algorithm, but make sure that they're connected into the inputs of whatever your first algorithm is. We need to do the same on the outputs. So go down to USB, make sure that 1 and 2 are selected, and again connect them up to output 1 and output 2. Okay, I'll go back to this view. I just prefer this view. Go to algorithm. I'm just going to put zigzag in here. Okay, so now we have band delays routed through here. I'm going to turn off the microphone so that you can hear the demo that when I go into Ableton, and you'll have a listen to that in a sec. So let's just go in and do that.
Lay me down, 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 lay me down.
So apologies for that. You see that I accidentally put that onto the return track when I set it up because I had that selected, but I just dragged that effect across into the insert effect. So this here is set up as an insert at the moment. If we want to save this for future use, what we do is that we just go in, let's rename this, so call it H9K USB 1-2. And then what we can do is we can go into the user library, and we basically can navigate our way into presets and then external audio effect. If we just drag and drop that into here, you'll see that next time it'll show up on the audio effects, external audio effects. You can see that that is now here. So we can drag that down and reuse that. If we want to set this up as an insert effect instead, as a bus send, let's just remove this from the insert effect, go across to the bus. This is where I had it set up before, and let's just drag this down here. And then we have this, we can now use this send instead to see how much we're going to send to this bus. Now when we do this, we want to make sure that this dry wet is set to 100%, but also in E mode we want to make sure that all of our mixes are set to 100% as well, because the wet dry mix is now going to be controlled by the send from Ableton. So make sure this mix is at 100%, and for each of these algorithms that this mix is at 100%. And that's pretty much it. So there's a little bit involved in it, but that's essentially how you make the H9000 with USB in an aggregate device work on Apple or on your OS X. Okay, I'm going to say see you later here, and there'll be some more content coming up. If you got value out of this video, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 followers at the moment, and that'll be great. And again, if you get value from this content, please consider buying me a coffee or subscribing to the Buy Me a Coffee page down below, where you'll get lots and lots of goodies. I release algorithms to my subscribers. Most of those are free to subscribers. The rest of them, if you're not a subscriber, you have to pay for them. But I really do appreciate any support that you give me through there. This is really my only source of income at the moment, while I'm looking for work in my main industry. And yeah, the more support I get there, the more likely you are to see some more content from me. All right, guys, see you later, and thanks for tuning in.